You have 2 years to make money off of the AI boom, and that is not a pie in the sky view, nor is it a dystopian the world is ending view. It's actually the middle of the road view. If you're a small business owner, entrepreneur, or you just dream of starting your own business, you need to watch this video because I'm going to explain why the next 2 years are so important, why there's going to be so much opportunity for revenue, what I'm doing about it, and what you can be doing about it as well. My name is Rob Gardner. I've spent the better part of 25 years as a developer and a business owner, and I am making massive and sweeping changes in everything I do for the AI revolution that's coming. Literally, as I'm recording this video, I have 12 different AI agents working on 3 different businesses for me. I would not have the time to create content if I didn't have a team of agents that were working for me 24/7 around the clock. It has been life-changing, and it is more accessible than it's ever been before. But before I get into that, let's talk about why I think the next 2 years are so important in AI and for your small business. I turned 47 this year, and that means I was old enough to be around for the internet boom. In fact, my dad, when I was a teenager, was working at the University of Illinois as an associate director, and he was involved with a lot of the network operations and the building of the backbone that happened at the University of Illinois. And he sat me down and gave me a very stern look and told me, Rob, you have got to learn the internet because there's big things coming and you'll make a lot of money if you do. And he was right on both fronts. There were 3 things that made the internet boom possible. First, there was exponential growth. I can remember a 1200 baud modem and logging into BBSs and reading messages that took 30 seconds to download. But very quickly, we went from 1200 to 2400 to 7200 to 14.4 to DSL. And before you know it, we had cable internet. The technology was absolutely exploding at such a fast pace that it was hard for a lot of people to keep up. The second thing was that there was a huge tech curve. There was a big barrier to entry. People were overwhelmed with all the new technology. If you remember, Windows 95 came out and then Windows 98 came out. It was so confusing with all the new softwares and interfaces that Microsoft Office actually created a paperclip, a cartoon paperclip that was designed to teach you how to use their software. That tech curve intimidated a lot of people, and it made it very hard for them to adapt and learn and get into the latest technologies. The third thing that was present was a very negative bias. There were a lot of people who didn't want to use the internet, didn't believe in the internet, thought the internet was going to be bad for society. Mark Cuban tells a story about going into offices and trying to sell them products on the internet and literally having major business owners point out all of their secretaries and say, I will never need the internet. Fast forward 25, 30 years, and the internet is commonplace in everything we do. These 3 factors combined to create a massive gap between the early adopters that got in and took advantage of the technology and the late adopters who were stubborn and refused to. And those that got in early had massive, massive revenue opportunities, from buying the earliest domain names to being the first companies to come out with search engines or social media. There was a massive gap, and if you didn't get in early, you missed out on a chance to get a really big bag. So what does all of this have to do with AI? Well, all 3 of these factors are in place, even stronger than they were during the internet boom. Let's start with exponential growth. I can remember 2 years ago, conversations about how someday we were going to have AI programs that could literally build entire pieces of software from end to end. And the thoughts and the conversation was around, yeah, maybe in like 3 to 5 years, we'll have this advanced software that can build software. It took less than a year. And now here in 2026, we literally have people with no coding experience, vibe coding apps, vibe coding games, vibe coding programs for your phone. It's here, and it got here way faster than anybody expected. And then the next boom that was supposed to come in AI was agentic AI, this idea that we could have autonomous agents that could work around the clock for us. And again, it was like, yeah, in a couple years, this could be possible. And then OpenClaw randomly showed up one day, and all of a sudden, everybody was using OpenClaw to do autonomous actions. And there were some issues with OpenClaw, but you know what? More and more people started creating their own versions of OpenClaw. I created my own from scratch version of what OpenClaw does, and now I have something that we didn't think was going to be coming for another couple years. This space is absolutely exploding at a nuclear pace, and there are so many people who aren't even aware that it exists yet. Then there's the tech curve. AI is intimidating and there's a lot of technical layers to it. One of the best suites for building software right now is Claude Code. It is insane to use Claude Code to build apps. As a developer, I can do things now in 5 minutes that used to take me 6 weeks earlier in my life. It's unbelievable to think about, but guess what? You kind of have to install it in a command line, and some people don't even know what a command line is, and then they don't know how to use it, and they don't understand context works, how memory works, any of this stuff. It's way over their head, and it's so intimidating, people aren't willing to dip their toes in the water. They struggle to even pull up one of these websites like Claude or OpenAI and start putting prompts in because it's very intimidating. That tech curve keeps a lot of people out of the AI space. And when it comes to negative bias, everybody thinks that the Terminator is going to come destroy us in 5 years. Now, look, I'm not going to say there aren't dangers to AI. There definitely could be dangers to AI. There's definitely some dystopian outcomes that can be very terrifying to think about. But whatever's coming, it's coming. Like, you not using AI is not going to stop AI from taking over the world if that's what's eventually going to happen. The more you use AI, the more you learn AI, the better prepared you'll be for whatever's coming, not only for your business, but in life as a whole. So when you look at these 3 factors combined, you have a situation similar to the internet that is even more extreme. We have more extreme exponential growth. We have more extreme tech curve. We have more extreme negative bias against AI. And what that means is this is the internet 2.0. If you've ever thought at any point in your life, man, I wish I could just go back and know what I know now and take advantage of buying the early domain names or building the first Facebook or owning Bitcoin when it was 2 cents, all the things are going to be possible on an even bigger level over the next couple years. But the window is short, and this is where I really need you to pay attention. You have 2 years to make as much money off of this opportunity as you can as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, before things shift. And the reason is the technology that's coming out now that people aren't adapting to, that people aren't learning, it's going to eventually be commonplace. Sometime in the next 2 to 4 years, it's going to be adapted by everyone. Everyone's going to have it. And what's the line from The Incredibles? When everybody's special, nobody's special. So your window is over this next couple years. Whatever industry you're in, whatever business you're wanting to start, getting these tools enveloped in everything you do in business, learning how to scale your business because now you can do the work of 10 or 25 or 50 people when that wasn't possible even 6 months ago. Getting in now is where you get a huge leap over the competition while they're still complaining about AI and how bad it is for society. And you take advantage now before eventually everybody gets on board and there is no more edge to be had. Now, what I personally think is going to happen is I think over this next 2 to 3 years, this tech advantage is going to be huge. When that tech advantage closes, there's going to be a second window probably of 2 to 3 years where creative projects are really going to explode. People are really going to be craving authentic creativity that AI just can't create yet. A lot of what AI is going to create is going to be cookie cutter. It's going to be templated. It's going to be predictable. And those that can come out and make the best creative movies, the best creative games, the best creative slogans will still win for a couple years. But probably in 5 years, realistically, AI is going to be able to do everything as good or better than we are, and that's just going to leave all of us in a place where the world's going to change dramatically. So what am I personally doing to prepare for all of this? A couple weeks ago, I made the decision that I wanted to dive fully into this space, and I set aside some time. I downloaded OpenClaw, I installed it, I worked with it for about 5 days. It did some cool things, but it was very clunky, it was very difficult in certain areas, and it really struggled in certain areas, and I got fed up with it, and I said, I'm just going to build my own version of this. I got that built in 48 hours. This is the power of the tools and AI and everything that's there. What's cool was I had the opportunity to still input a lot of my opinions on how it should be structured, how memory should be organized. I had some cool ideas on how to improve it, from having interchangeable personalities to in-depth job descriptions to setting up onboarding processes. So the AI really learned and adapted to the specific situations and projects that it was given. And it's been amazing. Now I have a division of my team that works on developing websites and web applications for clients. I have another division of my team that's helping me generate and develop games that are going on Steam, something I've wanted to do my entire life, but I just haven't had time to do it. And I have a third division that's working on a website portal to make these AI agents available for other companies and small businesses that want to use them. And probably the coolest and most fun thing about this isn't replacing me. I am still the creative brain behind everything we're doing. What it's simply doing is it's replicating what I could do, and it's putting it out there so that I have 10 or 15 of me doing all of the work so that I can focus on what's really fun in business, which is the creative side, which is the planning side, which is the scaling side. I'm getting to do the things I love about business, and I have a team of agents doing all of the remedial work and grinding work and overnight work that happens while I sleep. So what should you do about this? Well, first, selfishly, I'm going to tell you to like and subscribe this video because I'm going to be putting out content on a very regular basis about what I'm doing, how I'm adapting, giving you tips and tricks for how you can adapt, and keeping you up with the news on how AI is changing because it's literally changing every single day. Second, drop a comment in the video for what your business is, what your business you're hoping to launch is, what industry you're in, and we can have a conversation about what AI is doing today, what tools I'm building, what tools are being built out there in the world today that can benefit you. This doesn't have to be an all-in, dive in on the deep end of the pool approach. You can get into AI in very small steps. You can get comfortable with just using a web browser and logging into an OpenAI, a Claude, a Gemini Pro, and starting to feed it things about your business. There's so many ways to leverage AI, and even if you just dip your toe in the water, you're getting a huge step up on your competition. But long term, and yes, by long term, I mean over the next 6 to 18 months, you absolutely need a plan to get AI into your business and being a part of your day-to-day operations. Because if you don't, somebody else is going to. And when you can scale your business at factors of 10, 25, 50, 100 times of the capacity of what you can do now, you can crunch the numbers in your own business on how much more revenue you can generate when you can grab a bigger market share in your particular industry. So, questions or comments, drop them down there. Hit the bell and subscribe. I'll be putting out videos twice a week, and let's keep this conversation rolling because this next 2 years is going to be the best 2 years of our lives.